Hey guys, sorry, I was just doing a bit of a workout with these weights. I'll come back to these weights in a second, but first, I should say, excuse me Dave, welcome to another episode of Knock Maths Out the Park with me, Mr. Clark. It's great to see you in there after a little bit of a break, coming right back at you like Cleopatra with some fractions, decimals, percentages. And today, in particular, we're looking at equivalent fractions. Dave, you need to... You're looking a bit skinny, we need to hit you at the gym. So what we are going to be doing is we're going to look at what we call equivalent fractions. Now, you're maybe thinking, equivalent, what does that mean? Think about what word it sounds like. It sounds like equal, okay? Equal. Now this is a symbol we use in maths quite often. And yep, we know how to do a sum. We would say maybe 1 add 1 and that equals 2. Fairly straightforward, 1 add 1 equals 2. But that's not really the main thing that equal sign is all about, because equal means equal. It means we've got the same amount on both sides of that equal sign. Now I started off this video with weights in my hand. I had this weight here, which is a 1 kilogram weight. I also had these two in my other hand, two 500 grams. Now when I was doing this, I had the same amount of weights in both hands, because this one was 1 kilogram, but this one was still 1 kilogram because it was two 500s. 500 plus 500 is 1,000 grams, which is the same as a kilogram. So it was actually the same amount of weight. Now I'm going to write this down. So 500 grams plus 500 grams is equal, it's the same amount as 1 kilogram. So when I was doing that, I had the same amount of weight on both sides because I wanted to make the guns look as big on both sides. Okay, so now I want to talk about this in fractions, because it's really important with fractions, because we've got lots of fractions which are equal to each other. They don't look the same, but a lot of them are the same. So let's take this bit of paper that I've got here. Once again, I've got one whole piece of paper. Now if you've watched my previous video, you'll know that I tore that bit of paper into 8 bits. I'll come back to that later. Now I'm going to take this bit of paper here. And I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to take it, and as well as I can, without hopefully going, ooh, not doing as good with my hairs this time, I've torn that in half. I've got 2 halves, okay? Now, I'm going to put one of these back up. Let's put this one back up. So there is my half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pen and just remind myself that that is 1 half. Now, would you agree that that's the other half? Okay, so I'm not going to quite put that there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this in half again. So when we tear it in half again, hopefully you remember, you make quarters. Okay, so we're going to tear it. So we've got, once again, my tearing. The last video went so well for my tearing. There we go, got it this time. And now I've made quarters. So that is 1 quarter. I'm going to write that on just to remind me. I'll pop that there. Whoop. I'll blue tack that bad boy up. And then we've got another quarter here, which I'm going to stick up. Now I'm going to put the equal sign, because these are actually the same size. Now I'm going to position that a wee bit better, I think. Oop. There we go. So you can see that I've got the same amount of paper on both sides. I've got on this side, I've got 1 big half, but on this side, I've got 2 quarters. So I would write 2 quarters is equal to 1 half. So there's part 1, and we're going to look at this in a bit more depth. But it's good for you to know that some fractions are the same as others. For all that one looks different, actually looks like that, might be bigger, but 2 quarters is the same as a half. It's the same amount of paper on both sides. Leave it to today, and we're going to go to part 2 very soon.